The sound is incredible. Your mind reels from the rattle of swords and the scream of countless bodies across a ceaseless war zone. Your bones quake with the reverberations as titanic cubes clash high in the unending expanse.
Welcome, mortals, to the realms of the infinite battlegrounds of Acheron.
That's how we roll. 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 Welcome to the Goblins Corner. My name is Eric.
And I'm Matt.
And tonight,
We're talking about Acheron.
yes, the infinite battlegrounds of Acheron, where the dead go to clash eternally amidst a whole bunch of cubes.
Indeed.
Metal cubes.
Yes.
Rust monsters, all sorts of creatures, Grumpsh, the god of orcs,
Yes.
and more will await you tonight because we're doing an episode on it.
We are following up in our planner episode.
That's right. It's been a while since we've done a planner episode. We figured the Battlegrounds would be great. And, we've had some requests to do things about orcs.
Yeah.
So why not start with Acheron, where the orcs might go when they die?
Sure. Most likely.
So let's talk about Acheron, Matt. By the way, little side note about Acheron. Some pronounce it Acheron.
Yes.
I don't know if that's actually the real way to pronounce it.
So the Greek definition is Acheron. The A is A, and then Chron, like a fantasy name, Chron.
Sure.
Acheron. That's it. There's no extra ER is not pronounced. It's just Acheron in the Greek.
Acheron, Acheron, Acheron. We here at the Goblins Corner are fine however you pronounce it because it's your game, folks.
In fact.
You just want to call it the Infinite Battlegrounds? You can also do that too.
Yeah.
How
You can
delightful.
Completely change the name of it entirely.
That's right. I'm going to call it Acheron for this episode. I'm sure someone on the internet's going to get furious with me. That's fine too.
And my pronunciation is probably going to walk around.
That also can be the case. So, Matt, what's up with Acheron? Let's break down a little bit of the history of the realm.
All right. Well, as a plane, it has been around since first edition up until fourth.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Access cosmology took over. And then it was alluded to in fifth, but there hasn't been a whole lot of lore for it.
Yeah, it's essentially kind of taken a back burner for a little bit. Now, Planescape came out for fifth, and they kind of alluded to it a little bit. But maybe you're playing fifth or maybe you're playing something else and you want a little more lore and, of course, player options.
Yes. And a little more interest.
Yeah, maybe some new monsters. That's what we're here for.
Yes.
And so we're going to give you a little bit of lowdown for that. So first off, Acheron is an iron-shod plane that is known as the Eternal Battleground or the Infinite Battlefield.
Yes.
Also the Infernal Battleground as well.
It is a place of pointless battles, just never-ending. We fight because we fight.
Acheron is the home of those who commit evil by doggedly obeying the law, obeying orders to the extreme, and enforcing laws to the detriment of others.
Yeah.
How very apropos for today.
Soldiers, rebels without a cause, and those people who brought law through violence. All of those types of people have a home here.
All of those are very, really cool, fun thematics you can explore in your game.
Yes.
Now, as we mentioned, it is part of the Great Wheel,
Yes.
which we like. If you're playing with alignments, it generally flavors lawful evil, lawful neutral-esque. Mostly lawful evil, I believe.
Right. With an emphasis on law.
Yes, very strongly law abide. It is located between Mechanus and the Nine Hells, making it the most lawful evil plane aside from the Nine Hells.
Right.
Which
The
I
most
think is
lawful, lowercase evil plane versus
evil
lawful,
and
uppercase evil plane.
yes, yeah. And your game may differ, right?
Sure. It is a realm with several deities, particularly those that are dedicated to goblinoids, orcs, and war.
Yeah, lots of fun there. You can explore the concepts of war, what divinely inspires your characters through war, or maybe you're playing an orc.
The other thing is if your players go there and you just want a set piece, just have a giant spear go sailing through the sky. And this is a home of Grumpsh.
Oh, that's a good point. I love that.
An enormous spear goes sailing past.
Yeah, it just pierces into a giant or something like that.
Sure.
It could happen. Or a castle wall.
Or just a cube.
Just a big-ass cube. Big metal cube. I love the idea that there's giant polygons just floating in the sky.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the planar stats, Matt. What's going on with Acheron?
It is divinely morphic.
Okay. What does that mean?
That means that in their domains, gods can shape basically everything they want to about the plane.
They determine what goes.
Right.
It also has directional gravity,
Which I love.
which just means that the gravity is tied to the cubes.
Right.
So you could be floating in space, and you land on a cube, and you run to the other side of the cube, and it's still down. Where's down? Where the cube is, much like the Earth.
Yes.
Except the cubes aren't as big. Some of them are town-sized. Some of them are only building-sized.
Right.
And some of them are continent-sized.
Yes.
Which again, can you imagine this giant pockmarked cube made of entirely of iron?
Yeah. It's
That's awesome.
a cubic moon that dozens of tiny cubes have slammed into. And so, like you said, it's just pockmarked.
That's no moon. That's a battlefield.
Exactly. It is strongly law aligned and mostly evil aligned.
Yep.
So if you are playing with the aligned spells variables, it applies there.
We've got normal time, normal magic. Congratulations. You don't have to do any mechanics in your brain for your wizard.
It has 4 layers: Avalas, Thuldanin, Tintibulus, and Ocanthus.
Yeah, Ocanthus.
Ocanthus?
You say Ocanthus,
Okay,
I
well-
say Ocanthus. We're going to be mispronouncing stuff tonight, folks. This is just how it works.
And I put an A in Tintibulus.
Oh, well, that works too. Let's talk about the first layer, Avalas. That's generally the one people most recall when they hear about Acheron, right? It's the one thing because it's the clashing cubes, right? Also known as the battle planes. This layer consists of massive iron cubes. That's what we've been talking about for the last 10 minutes.
Right. This is the reason why this part is the most well known.
Now, as I mentioned, these move about in random locations and speeds and can range in the size of like a small house to a continent. How cool is that? And do they clash? Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, indeed, they clash.
I like the idea of a rain of small cubes.
Oh, cubic rain?
Yeah.
That would be
like a
awesome.
hailstorm, but it's a cube
Sure.
storm.
Maybe every time a piece is broken off, it just scatters, or maybe they form from iron dust into condensed iron cubes.
Sure.
That would be really cool.
I like that idea.
You could do that. Put that in your game, folks.
There is the sound of constant clashing, both from the cubes, but also arms and armor that fills the air. So that's something you get to look forward to.
Yeah. There's birds of all types and sizes feasting on the dead.
Yes.
Like carrion birds and such, crows. There's got to be murders and murders of crows just everywhere.
I would also have like terror birds. And
terror birds would be great.
Yeah.
By the way, and this is an aside, if you're on a battlefield, intelligent crows would make an excellent NPC side quest.
So here's something that I think should happen that hasn't happened. You know how giant eagles are smart?
Yes.
I think you should have giant crows
That are smarter. They're wizards.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Why not?
Yeah.
Crow. I mean, technically that would be a
Kenku?
yeah. So the cubes are, as we mentioned, the cubes have holes in them. The cubes are littered with fortresses dug into the depths of the pits on the iron sides of the cube.
Sure.
So I want you to imagine basically fortifications inside a trench warfare.
Right.
Or big-ass fortresses, I guess, sticking out a little bit. Although they can't stick out too much because, as we mentioned, the cubes will clash.
Right. They'll just get sheared off by another cube.
Yeah.
Fabricate is arguably the most amazing spell in this place.
Because you could just make
Because there's
fortifications.
iron everywhere.
Yeah, it'd make all kinds of bladed weapons and stuff.
Sure.
Man, be a wizard with just a fabricate spell.
You could make a literal blade wall with fabricate.
As a matter of fact, you could. Now, aside from the river Styx, the only landscape aside from the flat battlefields are the conical mountains and deeply etched pits. Makes sense if you're constantly banging into other cubes.
I do think it's amusing that it is specifically conical shaped mountain. So you're talking about like a kid's drawing, right? Like literal cones,
Mm-hmm.
not like conical as in, oh, there's been 100 million years of erosion or anything. No, these are conical, like actual cones.
You'll notice that all of the shapes...
And I like to think that the pits are just reverse cones.
Reverse cones?
Yeah.
Sure. I'd be down with that.
There are spherical portals that appear in fixed locations within this layer. So basically,
Anywhere.
if you're riding along on a cube and your cube is passing a location, you could get thrown through a portal without you even realizing it was there.
Can you imagine a party of adventurers, planar travelers, if you will, and they're in the middle of a battle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, the wizard jumps up, he casts fly, and he's about to rain death upon, the orcs.
Sure.
It's a battlefield full of orcs, right? And he disappears. And the rest of the party's like, where'd he go? And next thing you know, the cleric's gone.
Good times.
Good times. So that's Avalas. Let's talk about Thuldanin.
Yes, the scrap heap.
This is ripe for story options.
And wildly underused, in my personal opinion.
They also call this the Sargasso Sea or the Elephant's Graveyard, and there's a reason for that, Matt.
This layer is made up of hollow cubes that are pockmarked pits that are filled with mountains of old machinery.
That is an awesome description. Basically, you remember the trash from Labyrinth?
Yes.
I kind of see it like that. Like people just digging through tons and tons of garbage and, leftover forgotten, basically machinery.
Yes.
Inventions and such. Thuldanin contains countless contraptions, creations, weapons, armor, failed experiments,
Yes.
broken devices, a lot of broken devices, fallen buildings, and shipwrecks of the sea and air. Basically, what do you want in your story?
Right.
Now, there's a catch.
Just a small one.
Just a small problem with this, because you might be thinking, let's go to Thuldanin, folks. Hop in that portal.
The catch is that everything in Thuldanin is turned to stone over a matter of weeks and days.
Yes. And that includes you.
Yes.
So if you're not careful, you too could be turned to stone. Because of that, there are no inhabitants, typically.
Right.
But there are a bunch of scavengers looking for something that, might turn the tide of a battle and hasn't been turned to stone yet.
Sure.
So it's kind of a race against time, because you're with a bunch of mercenaries and treasure finders in Thuldanin. Some of them are being turned to stone. You're being turned to stone. So are the potentially miraculous MacGuffin weapons that could also be turned to stone at some point.
So hear me out. The thing you have to find that you've been sent for is something that's already stone. So the thing that allows airships to levitate,
Okay.
right? It's made out of stone. It's just set in an airship. Now you can either pay $100,000 in gold to purchase one of these stones.
You could.
Or you buy a gate spell and you go dumpster diving because it's already stone. It's not going to go to waste down there. You just got to get it out.
Yeah. I like the idea also maybe that there is a archlich or some kind of really big bad that got turned to stone a long time ago in Thuldanin. And the new big bad evil guy, their quest is to find that archlich, grab the stone statue of them from Thuldanin, turn them back into whatever they are, the lich in this case, and that ends the world.
Being turned to stone is not a death effect.
No, it's just a stone effect.
Right, which means that the lich is not going to reform at its phylactery because it didn't die. It got turned to stone.
Unless it got destroyed somehow.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a very cool idea.
Something to think about, folks. Matt, let's talk about the third layer, Tintibulus.
Okay, this is the polygon layer.
Ooh, polygon layer. This is not just squares,
That's right.
cubes anymore. We're talking about what?
This is the full set of God's dice.
All right.
Everything is made up of gray volcanic blocks of hundreds of different geometric shapes. Each time something breaks, it breaks into smaller geometric shapes.
So it could be a 6-sided dice to break into like a 12-sided dice to break into a D10 or D20 or whatever it is.
Sure, just smaller versions.
That is awesome.
Or you could have 4-sided that break into just more 4-sideds, however you want to do it.
And that's it. That's all we know about the realm, folks. No inhabitants, but it's very attractive to magical researchers due to its isolation. That's all that's been written that I'm aware of.
I would say that there are like entire cabals of just bat wizards on this layer.
Due to the nature of how things break down in Tintibulus, anyone that receives damage also will receive polygon-shaped wounds or potentially break down bifurcated.
I was thinking like the blood splatter would actually come out into like perfect squares or triangles or what have you.
Mm-hmm. That would be kind of cool. Another fun thing that would be kind of interesting, maybe it doesn't kill you if you take damage, but it evenly splits you. So, like, if I take a hit point of damage, now there's 2 of me, but they're each at half of my hit points and maybe half of my size.
Right.
That would be awesome.
You're good, Ash. I'm bad, Ash.
That's exactly what I was thinking about. So, folks, we need to do some stuff on Tintibulus. We might actually have a couple of options when we get to player options in a few minutes.
Sure.
Let's talk about the 4th layer, Ocanthus. This is the most deadly.
Awful. Yeah, it's awful. It is an awful place with awful things happening. It is made of flat shards of black ice ranging in size from a few inches to miles long.
It should also be noted that it is impossibly thin and impossibly sharp.
Miles long razors.
Yeah, vorpal ice. That's what it is. It's vorpal ice. This plane is also coated in darkness.
Sure.
Sorry, humans.
Can't even dodge the vorpal ice.
Hell no, man. And if it's
coming.
2-dimensional and it's coming at you, how are you going to know?
Yep.
Think about that. So it makes it almost impossible to see both creatures, those that, could actually survive vorpal ice.
Sure.
And the fact that there's black
ice coming.
Yeah. So I can't see anybody coming at me, and I can't see the various shards of razor-sharp ice coming at me.
Yeah, it's awful.
You're out of luck, man.
It's also home to the bladelings because it wasn't dangerous enough.
Yes. Who actually are immune to that.
Right.
So throw up your wall of force before you go in there. Again, ripe for exploration. And in fact, I think there's a god that lives on this realm as well.
If there's not, this would be a very cool place for a god of rogues to live.
Oh, yeah. Survive long enough to get to the god of rogues, and he'll grant you a request.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that you can play with there.
A lot of fun stuff. Matt, we've got some unique challenges in Acheron, of course. Let's talk about travel first.
If you have flight, it's a pretty easy place to get around.
If you don't,
it is a terrible place to try and get around.
So let's talk about flying. You could fly between the cubes or the shards if you're lucky.
Yeah, you can fly between the layers.
Yeah, easy enough, right? Get to the next cube, no problem.
You just go down.
Got some flight, no problem. Got a catapult, you've got flight temporarily till you hit the next cube.
Yeah.
Now on Avalas, you could wait for 2 cubes to crash into each other, and in fact, many battles do that.
Yes.
There are entire legions of mercenaries that wait for the 2 cubes to clash and then jump from one cube to the next so that they can conquer that next cube.
Yeah, it's think pirates boarding a ship, basically.
Sure. I love this idea, by the way, of just we got a cube coming up and everybody's preparing for war, and then all of a sudden you see a whole bunch of just harpoons and grappling hooks being thrown.
Now, you could also take the river Styx from one cube to the next.
You could. Now, that is also fraught with peril because the river Styx does what?
Well, it makes you forget, amongst various other things, like having terrible inhabitants.
Yes. It makes you forget a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Like the fact that you might die.
Sure.
Now, that's for mostly the 3 major layers. Getting through the trash heap at Tintibulus, all right, that's kind of tough, but you could, with flight, no big deal, right?
Right.
And, of course, the turning to stone part is kind of as well. However, in Ocanthus, traveling is just bad. You don't want to go too fast. You might get cut in half.
But since you're not going to see it coming, like going slow is just as bad as going fast.
I would say a wall of force or a cube of force, as you mentioned earlier.
Literally anything of force that can prevent you getting hit by this stuff.
Yes. Also, maybe some precognitive abilities to dodge the ice.
Immunity to slashing.
Also would be a good idea.
Yeah, just roll through the plane.
Let's talk a little bit about the terrain and weather, Matt.
The terrain is mostly flat, as we discussed. There are pits that you can fall into or hide in, and there are conical-shaped mountains.
Now, in Ocanthus, it's like walking on a plane of glass, which it is.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Razor-sharp glass. We don't recommend going to Ocanthus, although we need to start up a game in Ocanthus.
Just start it there.
Just a survival game. They never really talked about the weather in Acheron, but we would like to think that there's specific weather generally by the layer.
Yes.
So, for example,
Avalas has the smoke of battle.
Mm-hmm.
that would cause, with any sort of breeze, fog banks of smoke.
Or acid rain
Sure.
from all of the gunfire or cannon fire.
Sure. You also have to think about leftover gas attacks,
Mm-hmm.
like just fog banks.
Chemical warfare and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stinking cloud spells, living fireballs. Living spells would be great on Avalas.
Sure.
In Thuldanin, I think it would be really cool to have stone rain.
Sure.
Like the water itself has turned to stone.
In Ocanthus, it's cold, right? This is black ice. So obviously it's not a very warm place.
Yeah. And then for Tintibulus, which is the polygon layer, I don't know, polygon weather? It's raining dice. I think it should rain D4s that people step on, like caltrops, metal D4s.
I like the idea in the top layer that the weather is stationary
Mm-hmm.
because the cubes move.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And so, yes, there may be a hurricane, but you can see it coming. You know you're moving towards it. Nothing you can do about it, but you see it coming.
I also think because Tintibulus has the layer of magical research and stuff, maybe it's magical spells or magical runoff that is the weather.
Sure.
That would be kind of cool. Like, can you imagine a cloud of polymorph potions?
Absolutely.
That would be hilarious.
Sure. And in that case, some of it could theoretically be good.
Very dangerous. Speaking of danger.
We have natural dangers,
Mm-hmm.
and they are going to depend, once again, on which level you're on.
Sure.
In Avalas, you've got cubes that crash together, rusted pits, and flocks of crows that will carry you off.
Yeah. Feast on your flesh. I love that. The biggest issue in Avalas is getting abducted into a roving army.
Just conscripted.
They're all over the place. Congratulations, you're a new recruit.
In Thuldanin, you also have to worry about crashing cubes, but you also have to worry about everything you own turning to stone.
There's also a lack of food and water because of that.
Right. But that includes you turning to stone as well.
Yeah, definitely a natural danger if there ever was one. In Tintibulus, there's crashing polygons, so much like crashing cubes. And of course, there's visitors trying to hunt down magical research and stuff like that. What kind of magical research? Who knows? They
Right.
never wrote anything about it. But
And it could be you.
It could be you. Also, probably starvation.
Sure.
And then finally, Ocanthus.
It's the ice.
It's
It's right. Moving at ballistic speeds.
And if that wasn't enough,
bladelings.
bladelings. Bladelings will get you every time. So surviving isn't very easy on any part of this realm.
In some places, it's far easier than others.
Yeah, you really have to know what to do on each level. So for example, in Avalas, don't get conscripted. That's the easiest thing.
Yeah.
Make sure you have Featherfall or Flight, and then don't get smushed by the cubes.
Right.
Pretty simple, right?
Pay attention to your surroundings and don't get conscripted. You're good to go.
Yeah. In Thuldanin,
Eat plenty of food before you go.
yeah, get a hearty breakfast
And don't get smashed.
and don't get smashed by the cubes. Don't get turned to stone.
Right.
In Tintibulus, assume something or someone crazy enough is roaming about doing magical research or potentially trying to abduct you for magical research.
Right.
Don't get smushed. And finally,
Ocanthus. Don't go.
just don't go.
Yeah. Or be a bladeling.
Be a bladeling. Don't go. Avoid the bladelings.
Sure.
So why, Matt, given the fact that A, it's a hell, B, you could get conscripted, C, you could get turned to stone or smushed between a rusted cube, would you ever go to Acheron?
There are reasons. Rusting weapons, just laying about like heroic, ancient, wild weapons.
I would even say weapons with the rusting capability as well.
Sure. Arcane and often forgotten weapons.
Or lore.
And vehicles of war.
Ooh, something to salvage, perhaps.
Yes.
All right. Speaking of lore, forgotten lore or forgotten groups, maybe people who were ostracized or exiled to this plane.
Sure. Magical materials.
And finally, mercenaries.
Yes.
You want to hire some people? This is where you go.
Right. There's literally an army looking for a fight.
Lots of fun stuff. Speaking of fun things, we also have what, Matt?
The question of the week.
All right. What fun thing are you going to ask me this week, Matt?
If you could add a creature or material to the lore of this plane, what would it be and why?
I find this relatively easy because there's so many really cool story options. But given the rusting metal cubes of this realm, I would say rust golems.
Sure.
Rust golems would be really awesome. I also say this would be where you maybe get blades like Vorpal blades from, because Ocanthus has nothing but Vorpal blades, Vorpal ice.
At the very least, the components for Vorpal blades.
Certainly. So I think that would be a really cool thing. Can you imagine going there to mine a Vorpal blade? How would you do that without cutting your hands off?
Very carefully.
Very carefully, yes. Very, very carefully, or perhaps using Mage Hand with the chisel. What about yourself? What would you add to this realm?
I like the idea of bone wyverns.
Oh, yeah. Man,
that just fly from cube to cube and just
wreck people.
Yep. Armies.
Eat their bones, perhaps. Yep. Or maybe they're made of bone, skeletal even.
Yes. I also like the idea of petrified things.
Like what?
Petrified iron as an ingredient. It is stone iron.
Oh, so like a magical material, perhaps?
Yes.
Much like
petrified water.
Yeah. By the way, we have an episode on magical materials.
Petrified liquor. You can get like earth elementals and things like that drunk.
You just make regular booze, but you petrify it and it gets them drunk?
Yes.
All right. That is awesome. What else is true about that? Maybe petrified food would feed an elemental or a Zorn.
Sure.
That's really cool. I'm definitely going to use that. Of course, we're always interested in your answers to the question of the week, and if you have one, hit us up at Goblin's Core on all the various socials. And of course, should you be watching our show, you can do what, Matt?
You can comment down below. I was laughing because Zorn snacks, like Scooby snacks.
Scooby snacks for Zorns. Yes, absolutely.
I couldn't help it. It got in my head, and I had to get it out.
We're going to make some drugs. How do you drug a Zorn? That's easy. You get some really powerful poisons or drugs, and you shunt it over to Acheron until it turns to stone. You snatch it before you turn to stone, and you feed it to the Zorn.
Absolutely.
This is definitely going to be a story where someone has to operate on a Zorn, and they have to knock him out.
Zorn anesthetic.
A Zorn anesthetic.
Sure.
And they get him stoned, literally stoned.
Sure.
by getting something that's turned to stone so that it'll eat it, and then it's knocked out, and then they can operate on the Zorn. That is an awesome idea. I'm going to use that at some point. That's an interesting creature just to have fun with.
Sure.
And with that segue, we're going to dive into interesting creatures. Matt, in addition to all of the battlefields, what can you find on Acheron?
It is an evil plane, so obviously you can find devils and fiends of all types.
Of all types. Fun fact, Acheron was mostly left out of the Blood War. Why? Probably because they were too busy fighting each other.
Why fight a bunch of orcs when you could fight demons and devils?
Sure.
Bladelings, as we mentioned.
On Ocanthus, yes. We've got goblins, orcs, and duergar. Oh, my. Any type. Any and all. And they're on all the different levels.
Right. Kobolds.
Yes. In fact, one of the gods, was it Kuldermak or?
Kurtlemak.
Kurtlemak is, I think, one of the gods that is in Acheron as well. Humans and dwarves, generally in the armies.
Sure. Makes sense.
Mercenaries or petitioners because they were fighting some Ceasus war and they died.
Now, keep in mind, this is a lawful plane, therefore you can find Modrons.
Ooh. And one I thought was really interesting, and you should add this too, Rakshasa.
Yes.
We should have Rakshasa in Acheron. They would definitely be like generals.
I like the idea that, it is mentioned that Tintibulus has crazy mages.
Yes, crazy wizards.
Rakshasas. Most of them are magic users also.
Oh, Tintibulus?
Yeah.
Or Thuldanin, too, for that matter. Maybe searching through the various weapons and stuff before it turns to stone.
Absolutely. Trying to get spell books before they turn to stone.
Oh, hell yeah.
Sure.
Get some spell books before it turns to stone. I love the idea of rust dragons in Acheron.
Yes.
So we're adding rust dragons to Acheron.
And blade dragons.
And blade dragons would be great in Ocanthus.
Yep.
Stone dragons as well.
Yes. I don't know if they still have those in Dragonlance. But I know they used to have one.
Yep.
Crows and other carrion birds, obviously.
Anytime, yeah. Oh, what was it, the bird you were talking about?
The giant crow.
Giant crow and terror birds. I love the idea of just roaming the rust plains. Can you imagine like sand dunes filled with just rust?
Sure.
And it's just kind of roaming around.
And just a herd of terror birds
coming at you. Rust monsters.
Sure.
And this would be a cool lore. How did all the holes get built for the armies? Rust monsters eating through the cubes like worms.
Yeah.
That would be a super cool way. Man, they'd be some fat rust monsters
You'd have
too.
Giant ones, yeah.
Absolutely. Because, they've got nothing but food on these.
Dire rust monsters.
A dire rust monster. Well, there you go. That's what's up right there.
Something else that you and I discussed that it doesn't technically exist there, according to the lore, is that obviously on Thuldanin there should be petrifying creatures.
Medusa, cockatrice.
Right. Anything that is immune to petrification that could have gotten stranded there could live there.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah. In addition to, trying to find that lost spell book or that lost MacGuffin or that magical bomb in Thuldanin, and you turn the corner and you're like, oh, look at her. Oh, no, she's got snakes for hair. And that's all he wrote.
Yep.
Now he's a statue. Got to drag the paladin off, try to get him rezzed.
Metallic bull comes charging over the corner.
Oh, Gorgon?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got unique cultures and locations as well. And these are just some examples, but there are all sorts of gods and goddesses in Acheron.
I mentioned it earlier. Grumpsh.
Yep, god of orcs. We've got Bane from the Forgotten Realms.
Magubliet.
Mm-hmm. The god of goblins, yes. We have Kurtlemak for kobolds.
Sure. Hrugek
which
for
is
bugbears,
which is a hell of a word to say. We might be mispronouncing all of these gods, by the way.
Sure.
Laduger, which is, of course, the dark dwarves, right? Grey dwarves.
Gilgeem, if he still exists in your timeline or...
That was one of the... that was from Forgotten Realms?
Yes.
Okay. In terms of cultures as well, armies, as we mentioned, mercenary groups, mercenary guilds.
Sure.
Why not have a planar mercenary guild on Acheron?
It is the perfect place for your guild to continuously gain experience.
They're just training all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe they've got like an Ocean's 11 group of people, right?
Sure.
The unique skill set and stuff, and it's time to go. And they open up a spherical portal, or maybe they just have a map of where they are, and they dive in and go to whatever plane they need, if something needs done. Maybe they're like the A-team.
I was literally just thinking the A-team, yes. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, they've got like the D&D version of the A-team van.
Yeah. You got wizard cabals, particularly in Tintibulus.
Absolutely. Crazed artificers could be in Thuldanin.
They've just made themselves an amulet of proof against petrification, and now they just cruise through the place
Roam
like
the
they own
wastes. Yeah, that would looking for maybe constructs.
Sure.
There probably would still be some constructs that could survive being turned to stone, like a stone golem, for example.
Clay golem.
Clay golem as well, yeah. Something that would be kind of fun. Speaking of fun, there's a lot of fun locations in Acheron as well.
So hear me out.
Okay, I'm ready for this.
An iron golem.
Yes.
That gets turned to stone. If it doesn't deactivate, it's got all the stats of an iron golem, but it looks
like a stone golem.
Like a stone golem.
So the players roll up on it. That's a stone golem.
Treat it like a stone golem.
I know how to take care of it, and they start casting
bad times,
and it just wrecks them. That's a great idea. I love that. Let's talk about some fun locations, shall we?
Sure.
So first off, on Avalas, they've got a whole bunch of battlegrounds, as we mentioned.
Sure.
But what you don't know is there are tons and tons of fortresses, pits, and holes. What could we put in these fortresses, pits, and holes? We mentioned mercenary groups. What else could we do?
You could literally have a dungeon in one of the pits.
Yes. A dungeon in Avalas. Think about it, folks. That would be really fun.
It's a respawning dungeon because the dead come back to life every day.
Absolutely. This is a training dungeon.
Nice. It has become like there is a door to an adventurer's guild right beside it because it's a training dungeon.
Yeah, absolutely. We've mentioned several of the gods.
Right, and they've got domains.
Most of them do anyway. In Thuldanin, there are a couple of realms which are kind of interesting. The realms of Laduger and Deep Dura. So two gods of the Duergar reside in a domain where everything turns to stone.
Also, hear me out. Liches.
Liches?
Liches.
Liches. All right.
It's a great place to make undead. You got bodies everywhere.
You do.
Also, liches cannot be turned to stone.
Oh.
So they can go scrapyard shopping all they want as well.
I would say after a time, their bones become ossified. Like just hardened.
Sure.
Like if they're there for like a century or more.
Like a stone lich.
Yes, a stone lich.
They get stone powers.
You imagine
to
a
go
stone
with it.
mummy?
Yeah.
A stone mummy would be cool.
We kind of made one of those.
The
many moons
Nacreous
ago.
mummy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, I like the idea of Nacreous mummies on Thuldanin.
Sure.
Now on Tintibulus, technically nothing that has been written, but we mentioned, crazy wizards, right?
And if you've got crazy wizards, you've got crazy wizard creations.
And crazy wizard towers. polygons hollowed out in fortresses.
Sure.
I almost see like a
Dungeons. More dungeons.
Yes. But I would say a 3-dimensional dungeon on those realms.
Sure.
And again, liches.
Polygonal dungeon.
Polygonal dungeons. Polygonal liches.
Sure.
Cast fireballs, they're just nothing but D20s? No, they're 6-sided. 10 6-sided. A cloud of fiery 10 6s.
Sure.
I think that'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, we got to come up with something for Tintibulus at some point. It would be interesting to have multi-dimensional beings.
I feel like a deity of luck should live there. A deity of bad luck.
Yes.
Because everything's dice-shaped.
Absolutely. I love that. And then finally on Ocanthus, the Bladeling realm is there. It's called the City of Shadows. Also, a couple of gods, one of which has been around for a long time, the realm of Ouijas.
Yes. The goddess of death and magic. They have a crystalline castle, a delicate yet horrifying architecture.
And I would also say, because she's the goddess of magic and death, probably more liches.
Yes.
Liches on every realm.
Yep.
It's liches all the way down.
It is liches all the way down.
All the way down. Yes. Speaking of the theme of liches, what other themes do we have in Acheron?
Well, one of the most obvious themes is war, particularly hopeless battles.
Yes, and you could explore just that for a long time and have a really fun story. We also have the concepts of decay or rust, which I think is really interesting to kind of explore. You know, obviously from a physical manifestation, but also maybe just the plane wears you down. Like,
I was going to say a mental and spiritual
turns
kind
you
of
to
point of view.
stone. Maybe
Yeah.
your thought processes become static, and that's why people get locked there, and why they fight hopeless battles, because they can't turn their thoughts a different way.
Right.
It's kind of cool.
Speaking of not turning your thoughts, bloodlust and violence.
Yes. There's a concept of waste,
Sure.
particularly Thuldanin, as we mentioned. It's a big garbage heap, and certain death.
And the theme of liches.
The theme of liches. Finally, as we always do for the infinite battlegrounds of Acheron, we have story ideas. What are these story seeds, Matt? Start us off with one of them.
Okay. The party seeks a relic of old to turn the tide of their current battle.
Awesome. That's as easy as it gets.
Yeah.
You got to go to Acheron on one of the realms.
Fetch quest for the MacGuffin.
Fetch quest could be anywhere. Could be in a dungeon in Avalas.
Sure.
You have to fight off the battles, you know, the battlefields and stuff, or the mercenaries or whatnot. It could be in Ocanthus, where you get sliced to ribbons, or Tintibulus, where there's just nothing but polygon rain and, you know, crazed, mad wizards flying around.
Yeah, you got to get it from some wizard's tower who's been doing experiments on it.
Yeah, or you get turned to stone in Thuldanin,
Sure.
you know? And
Got to make it through the scrap heap.
liches on every realm. The party seeks lost or new magics from the wizards of Tintibulus. There you go. Another fetch quest.
You just have a wizard in your party who's interested in shiny new toys, and they know that's a place you can go to get them.
You got a particular god of magic, this would be a great place to put him.
A new breed of rust monster has been sighted emerging from strange portals. Players must track down the portal and confront the wizard, or whatever, that's creating these creatures.
Awesome. Yeah, and a new and improved rust monster, that can wreck every party's day. Players hate rust monsters.
Yep. It just turns out that they're dire rust monsters, and they're just coming through the portal. Nobody created them.
Yep. The characters are abducted. When they wake up, they find they are conscripted and in Acheron. Uh-oh. And this goes with not starting the game in a bar.
Nice. Yeah.
You start on a different plane. How cool would that be? You're in an infinite battlefield. You're like, oh, man, what the hell am I going to do here?
Some party members wish to explore the great scrap heap of the universe.
And thus, that's where they go.
Yeah.
A Rakshasa has been terrorizing a city. The group must track it down to its home plane. Which home plane? Find a lair.
Right.
What level is your party? Party's high enough. Well, you better have that wall of force ready.
A magical MacGuffin has been lost. The PCs must locate it in Thuldanin before it is turned to stone forever.
And this could be the magical MacGuffin that saves the world.
Sure.
And if you lose it, oh man, what would be the repercussions of losing this magical MacGuffin?
The end of the world as you know it.
Maybe. That'd be kind of fun. A rust dragon is needed for the completion of a spell of war or new defensive magics. That's kind of cool.
I think that would be a good spell component for a wave of rust spell.
Oh, yeah. Or maybe like a 9th level meteor swarm, but instead of meteor swarm, it's just denuded army, and it just rains rust rain on the army, and all of their metal gear just vaporizes.
Yeah.
Leaving everyone unharmed,
but in a cloud of dust.
But in a cloud of dust and very uncomfortable because it chafes.
Sure. Rust flakes in a very uncomfortable way.
And you know, the thing is how badass would that be? This wizard comes up, casts a rain spell. The army has lost all of their weapons that are made of metal, and they're just looking at me like, all right, what are you going to do now? Go ahead. Your army has been defeated unless you have all wooden weapons.
How many people in your army are monks? That's what you really need to be asking yourself right now.
Yep. And then finally, Matt,
my character is looking for a stone ship.
This would be the perfect place to find one, because you could literally hire someone to build you a ship, stick it in Thuldanin.
Sure.
Let it turn to stone.
But there could already be a ship here. Why pay for one?
Oh, you just dig one up?
Yeah, I'm going to grab a Spelljammer helm.
Okay.
I'm going to go to Thuldanin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to slap the helm on it.
And fly away. Very quickly, hopefully.
Sure. I got a couple days to weeks.
That would be that would be awesome to have stone anything.
Yeah.
But stone vehicles particularly would be really cool.
Yeah, they just have to basically be magically moved, because otherwise they're going to take enormous creatures to move.
So there you have it. 4 delightful layers of death and misery that you could use in your campaign. Check out Acheron. It's a lot of fun. Again, do something with Tintibulus, because there's not much going on there, folks, aside from crazy wizards. Flesh this out. We've got a bunch of other options that we didn't include in this episode. We'll throw it up online, or maybe make a secondary episode as well, because there's a lot to explore in the multiverse.
I would love, if somebody out there loves making mazes and dungeons, for someone to make a 3-dimensional dungeon inside of one of the polygons.
Any layer.
Like a 12-sided dungeon in 3 dimensions. That would be super cool.
That would be very cool. Any questions or comments, hit us up at Goblin's Corner on all the various socials. Did you enjoy this podcast? Be like all the cool people and subscribe to it on your favorite player, YouTube and Twitch.
Click the 5 stars and give us a review on iTunes or Podchaser. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button. It helps get our show in front of more people, and it feeds the hungry algorithm.
It's currently coming to you at ballistic speeds, 1-dimensional, but a mile wide, soon to slice off perhaps an ear, perhaps a head, some other various limb.
A pinky toe.
A pinky toe. That's how the algorithm gets you. Death by 1,000 Ocanthus cuts.
Sure.
That's all the time we have for tonight. Once again, my name is Eric.
And I'm Matt.
We'll see you next time.
Good night, folks.
The Goblin's Corner is written and produced by Eric Holden
and Matt Staples.
Show song by the mighty D20.
This is a Subterranean production.
Basie.